super clean all-wheel cleaner. Your host for Motorweek, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motorweek. We're glad to have you with us. What happens when you put a bunch of car guys in some of America's biggest sedans and turn them loose on the roads of America's Deep South? You get a travelogue, Motorweek style. But it's much more than just scenic stops at automotive attractions. It's also a good look at how full-size domestic four-doors perform in their natural environment. From the wide open spaces of four-lane highways to the twisting byways of down-home Dixie. And it's a chance for us to get out of the office. So come along for big sedans in the Big South. We began our dash through Dixie just outside of Atlanta, Georgia at the Chateau Lawn Winery and Resort, where we met up with our full-size foursome. The Buick LeSabre is America's top-selling large car. The Mercury Grand Marquis represents the last of the big rear-drive V8 cruisers. The Chrysler Concorde can be thought of as the style leader of the bunch with its ultra-modern cab-forward design, while the Toyota Avalon seemed to be the odd man out in our group, but we included it here since it is American-made and available with 6-passenger seating. So warmed by the Grand Lodge's southern hospitality, our crew braved the unseasonably cold weather and set out for our first stop, Smyrna, Georgia, and a wonderful little shop called Auto Motif. Just as the name implies, owner Milt Hill has assembled the best collection we've seen of die-cast and plastic models, books, magazines, and you name it. If you're a car collector, this place is a must-see. It took great willpower not to empty our wallets so early in the week, although some showed more restraint than others. All ready? Go! Halfway to Chattanooga in the small town of White is Old Car City, USA. Here, Dean Lewis presides over some 34 acres of fated automotive history. You can't just wander the fields like we did or snap up a restorable rod at his weekly sale. This yard's got 1,000 stories, and Dean knows most of them. It was here, too, that we took a closer look at our Buick LeSabre. Its smooth, elegant body could turn even a classic Roadmaster green with envy. From the narrow waterfall grille to the tapered rear, the LeSabre is graceful at every turn. The interior of our Buick LeSabre Limited is traditional American big car, a flat, expansive dash. Visibility is good, although the outside mirrors are very small. I like having the seat controls right here on the armrest, although I do wish we had some lumbar adjust. The redundant controls on the steering wheel are very nice, so is being able to set the temperature separately for the passenger. All in all, not a bad interior from Buick. Power's not bad either, coming from a 3800 Series 2 V6 with 205 horsepower and 230 pound-feet of torque. It makes those long highway stretches seem effortless and easy on the wallet too, with mileage estimated at 19 city and 30 on the highway. The Buick LeSabre packs a full lineup of features for its $25,790 base price. Even loaded up with leather trim, grand touring package, and traction control, our test model holds the bottom line at $28,386. Before leaving Old Car City, we had to pay tribute to Elvis's last car, a 1977 Lincoln encased in its own vinyl shrine. Moving on down the road, we found ourselves next in Huntsville, Alabama, at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Besides hosting the excellent Space Camp program, the museum houses a fine array of space vehicles like the Lunar Rover and Skylab, as well as interactive exhibits for space fans of all ages. Forgive the obvious pun, but we couldn't resist parking our Mercury amid the outdoor collection of Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter rockets. While our Grand Marquis couldn't match them for thrust, its 4.6-liter single overhead cam V8 held its own in our bunch, pumping out 215 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. Even though its basic design is as old as some of those rockets, Ford has done a great job of keeping it up to date. Styling is still brick-like, but appealing a traditional way. EPA mileage estimates stand at 17 city and 24 on the open road. Nothing says highway cruiser like the interior of this Mercury Grand Marquis. I like the rich looking interior trim, and I also like the seat controls on the door here. They're very Mercedes-like. This is also the only one of our group that's got power lumbar adjust for the driver. I'd prefer the standard analog gauges to this digital unit, and the cup holder, if you use it, it blocks the temperature controls in the climate system. That's not a good design. Pricing is right on par with a base of $23,790. Full up with the handling and luxury packages, our as-tested price is within $30 of the Buick at $28,415. 100 miles below Huntsville is Alabama's big city of Birmingham. For a car lover, there's plenty to see and do within an hour's drive of here, like the excellent Mercedes-Benz Visitor Center and M-Class Factory Tour in Tuscaloosa. But we suggest you start right downtown at Barber's Vintage Motorsports Museum for a bit of two-wheeled overload. Here you'll see over 300 rare and interesting motorcycles from makers you may never have heard of, all in perfect running order. Curiously, many of the exhibits are encased in glass, a necessity from the early years when a dusty restoration shop shared the floor with the collection. The shop is in the back now, but the glass cases remain and make for a tidy layout. Our Toyota Avalon XLS has a tidy layout too. Its conservative lines have a generic import car flavor, but it was designed and it is built solely in North America. The Avalon is powered by a 3-liter 24-valve V6. It produces 200 horsepower and 214 pound-feet of torque, the lowest of our group. And we asked Lisa Barrow to sum up our thoughts on the Avalon.
The Toyota Avalon is a bit dull to the eye, but everything is well laid out. The huge buttons are easy to use, even with gloves on or if you have a little arthritis in your hands. Taller drivers are going to want a little more seat travel. And even though the Avalon with a bench seat is rated for 6 passengers, I suspect it's going to be a tight fit. On a plus note, import owners will feel right at home inside the Avalon.
The Avalon has a lot going for it, like superior fit and finish, superb ride and handling, and good visibility. It's also economical, with EPA estimates of 21 city and 30 highway. The price is another story, however. $28,120 to start and $31,158 as you see it here. That's a significant difference in such a tightly packed group. This part of the world is dyed-in-the-wool NASCAR country. So we decided to wind up our tour at Talladega Superspeedway in the International Motorsports Hall of Fame. 5 halls celebrate every form of racing from stock cars to go-karts. The displays are organized a bit haphazardly, so you need to spend some time wandering around to get the most out of your visit. Fittingly enough, we chose this spot to photograph our Chrysler Concorde LXI, since most of us, including Lisa, were ready to enshrine it as our pick for best of the bunch.
The Chrysler Concorde is not only the newest, but by far the most modern of all the cars we're testing. You'll notice the lines throughout the interior are very artistic. I'd like to see a longer seat bottom for more thigh support, and I did notice a bit more road noise than with some of the other vehicles. But when you're in the Concorde, you definitely feel like you're driving the full-size car of the future.
Chrysler's latest generation 3.2-liter V6 motivates the Concorde with 225 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque. EPA mileage estimates are on par with the rest of our group at 19 city and 29 highway. The Concorde gets our nod for styling, interior layout, and usable space, especially in the cavernous trunk. It looks like you could park the Avalon in here. Of course, the bargain basement pricing certainly helped its cause too. Base sticker is $21,305, while our tester with equipment to match the rest came in at a low $25,675. The American South has a distinct culture of automotive enthusiasm that's unlike any other part of our country. And our week spent touring Alabama and Georgia has just fueled our desire for more such adventures. The Mercury Grand Marquis, Toyota Avalon, Buick LeSabre, and Chrysler Concorde are rolling proof that the big American sedan is alive and well. And if you're going to drive the Big South, you might as well do it in big style. Coming up, the electric lifestyle.